I've entitled this video, Prepare the Way of the Lord. And when I start off here, what we're listening to is a prophetic word that came from a friend of mine named JR. And it was at a men's prayer meeting. One of the guys there recorded it. And I'm going to let y'all listen in for I think it's about 5 minutes of it. And I may, in the comment section, put the whole thing that was recorded so you can listen to that part too. But, and that's the gist of this message, is to prepare the way of the Lord. And I'm going to just watch this. I'm going to try to keep it kind of short. Thank y'all. So it was July 22nd of 2020. And we're just going to listen to about 5 minutes of it. So listen up.
Thank you, God. Okay. So the Lord, what I'm telling you here is being repeated by over a million people like me to a million churches. This is not a unique thing. Okay. That's awesome. Now, if the church doesn't come through listening to what the Lord is going to say, there's molten lava, magma beneath the soil, and He'll bring that up. And the volcanoes will speak the message that God has. And if that doesn't do it, He'll bring more riots. He'll bring the tide. He said He'll bring the tide in over the city, actual water catastrophe, and the tide will proclaim the message of the Lord, and He'll bring tall waves and actual waves. We're not talking figurative. And He'll bring those over the cities, and there'll be destruction. And the church has to hear the message. And the message is one that we know. It's a message that the man that proclaimed it, Jesus bragged on that man. And he brought the message. The same message. I heard this all night. Like this. And here's the message. Excuse me. Thank you. It's 10 minutes. You want me to stop now? I would give 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Then what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, more than a prophet. Who was more than a prophet? Among those born of a woman, there has not risen anyone greater than John the Baptist. He had a message. And if you are willing to accept it, it is written. If you are willing to accept it, that's Matthew chapter 11:14. And if you are willing to accept it, he who has an ear, listen. Prepare the way of the Lord. Amen. Prepare the way of the Lord. Don't kid yourself. Don't pretend. Don't talk yourself out of it. He's coming back.
Amen.
Not 100 years. I'm not going to give time, but not even 20 years. I'm not going to see it, he told me. I'll see the beginning of the revival which he will start. There's a Jesus revival coming up.
Yeah.
There'll be wars and rumors of wars. And I tell you, there'll be revivals and rumors of revival. Nothing wrong with that. But there is a revival coming. The disciples will be in place. The church will be in the street. They'll be on the beaches, on the rivers, on the parks. And God will bring light to the world. We'll be light. There'll be darkness all around us. Okay, you need to prepare for that too, personally. But that's not the only preparation you make. Prepare the way of the Lord. How do you do that? You dig your roots deeper. You get your roots deeper in the ground. And how do you do that?
The Word.
You read the Word. And that's the message of the Lord. Let me make sure I did not forget anything.
Now remember, that video was on 7/23. And you heard what he said about the wave and the water and that it would proclaim the message. So that was 722 was that. Now I'm going to read a little bit here. This is Wikipedia about Hurricane Isaias. Isaias was a destructive Category 1 hurricane that caused extensive damage across the Caribbean and east coast of the United States, while also spawning a large tornado outbreak that generated the strongest tropical cyclone-spawned tornado since Hurricane Rita in 2005. The ninth named storm and second hurricane of the extremely active and record-breaking 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Isaias originated from a vigorous tropical wave off the coast of Africa that was first identified by the National Hurricane Center on July 23rd. That was the very next day after this prayer meeting. And then later it goes on to be a named storm on July 30th. And let's go on to the next clip.
Chapter 3. In those days came John the Baptist. Chapter 40. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. The voice said, Cry. And he said, What shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. Chapter 3. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Esaias, saying, The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair, and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey.
Isaias is now a Category 1 hurricane. The storm has already brought flash flooding and mudslides to Puerto Rico. Now the East Coast is bracing from Florida to Maine. ABC News senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it all for us from Miami. Good morning, Rob.
Hi, good morning, Diane. This forecast has gotten more ominous in a hurry after doing some serious damage to Puerto Rico. I want to get to those images right now because that's dramatic stuff that happened in the last 2 days. Intense amount of rain on the western part of the island. Look at that. Kids being carried out by soldiers out of those floodwaters, and flash flooding and mudslides through some of these more hilly towns are really doing some damage there. So a tough go for Puerto Rico, no doubt about that. The Dominican Republic as well. And now it's ramping up into a formidable hurricane with tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings out for much of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, which get it today. A lot of warm water here, not a whole lot of land, so we expect it to become a Category 2 hurricane tonight. Here on a Tuesday night, and let's get right to it. Major news on the virus, the horrific and deadly explosion in Beirut, and the deadly storm sweeping through several cities right up the East Coast all day today. There are still tornado watches in parts of the Northeast as we come on the air tonight, and more than 3 million Americans without power now in the middle of this pandemic. Hurricane Isaias making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in North Carolina in the overnight hours. Winds topping 80 miles per hour, and in one location, wind gusts hit 100 miles per hour. The storm igniting fires. Several homes went up in flames in Ocean Isle Beach. The storm has turned deadly tonight. Here in New York City, the damaged trees down. A 60-year-old man was killed when a tree fell on his car. We're also monitoring massive power outages stretching from the Carolinas up to Massachusetts. The close call in Suffolk County, New York. Several people
running out of the way as strong winds down trees in their neighborhood. The storm unleashing a tornado outbreak, that mother protecting her daughter in the bathtub. They survived. A hospital daycare center in Bucks County, Pennsylvania damaged. Several children are being treated for injuries tonight. This system is now a tropical storm. It's racing north across parts of upstate.
Well, I'm going to show this part of the track of Isaiah, prepare the way of the Lord, traveling up the east side of Florida. And I want you to pay attention to the bottom left-hand side. It's going to show you what day that things are happening, and see what day it is as it travels up this side of Florida. There you go. August the 2nd. And then it turns. But the point I was trying to make there is that storm was right off that side of Florida on the 2nd. And something else happened in Florida on the other side of Florida on the 2nd. And that's what we're fixing to look at also. So here on the other side of Florida, we have this is actually August the 2nd, the same day that on the one side of Florida we have Isaiah coming through, and on this side of Florida we got the Dragon, SpaceX's Dragon, splashing down off the coast, off the Florida coast. Anyway, let's watch it.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over, but when you see those 4 chutes open, you can breathe a lot easier. That's the last key moment here that would cause some concern about their safety. If they've got all 4 chutes open, and here they come in for that splashdown. Let's watch.
What a sight. What a sight. So as you have witnessed history there, the 2 astronauts in the SpaceX Crew Dragon re-entering and splashing down for the first time we've seen a U.S. splashdown in 45 years. They're landing in the Gulf of Mexico. The weather has held up. A lot of excitement there for NASA, for SpaceX, for the future of that venture and all the exploration that they plan on doing together. Can you please walk me through, Rachel, what is happening right now to Bob and Doug as they remain in this capsule?
Now, I thought it'd be appropriate to put in here the scripture of the dragon being cast out into the earth.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.